aesthetic. If you look the word up in the Webster Dictionary, you'll find it defined as artistic, pleasing in appearance, or attractive. As easy as it is to assume this just refers to the visual properties of something, that isn't actually the case, because audio can be aesthetic too. The subtle crunch of footsteps on broken glass or snow, the echoing report of a lone gunshot. When these two elements, the sights and sounds of an in-game world, come together just right, it creates something spectacular. Something that can whisk you away from the hustle and bustle of a busy life, almost like a form of meditation, where for that brief time, your focus and immersion into that world allows you to be free. For many, this is the appeal of video games, even if it's not realized. The feeling of being captured by an in-game world like this is something that's really quite spectacular. And if you're anything like myself, you may spend months, or sometimes even years, chasing that proverbial dragon, bouncing from new release to new release, just looking for something to grab you and pull you in this way. It could be a single-player RPG, an MMO, a shooter. It doesn't really matter, but that feeling when you find your game, something you know you're going to sink hundreds of hours into without much thought, is incredible. And let me tell you something, Arc Raiders is going to be one of those games for a lot of people. But why is that? From the outside looking in, if you'd never played it, Arc Raiders might seem like a fairly generic sci-fi extraction shooter. You load into a map, get loot, maybe kill some enemies, and then try to get out. It's a formula we've seen before, and IGN even infamously referred to it as the Toyota Camry of extraction shooters. So why is Arc the massive success it's become, while others, like the Cycle Frontier, failed? Why does this world feel so immersive? Beautiful, but dangerous and intriguing at the same time? Well, it's the aesthetic. If I had to describe the look, feel, and sound of Arc Raiders in a single thought, I would say it's very 1980s sci-fi. On one hand, everything has this very retro and almost analog feel to it. There are CRTs scattered throughout the world, chunky machinery that requires you to use a breaching tool to pry your way into. The furnishings look like they could be decades old. It feels like how we imagined the future would look 40 years ago. Contrasting this warm, taken back by nature past home of humanity is quite literally the exact opposite. The Ark. Cold, emotionless, killing machines that patrol the surface of the planet, turning you, the player, into the hunted. They intentionally stand out from the rest of the game's set and setting, and in doing so, really make the world feel like one that's been lost. My first encounters with these immediately reminded me of the movie Oblivion, which I highly recommend checking out if you haven't, by the way. Not only do the Ark contribute immensely to the feeling of the world just by their sheer presence, they're also a serious threat. In most other PvPvE extraction shooters, the PvE element can, for the most part, be ignored. That is anything but the case here. The Ark are smart, cunning patrollers that can take down even a highly geared player with relative ease if caught unaware. And these are just the small guys. The bigger Ark, unless you came in specifically with the intention of targeting them, are extremely resilient. This is a huge factor when it comes to the human interaction element of the game. Not only can Arc interrupt fights or blatantly shift odds in favor of another person in an encounter, they also encourage camaraderie amongst players, and it's such an odd thing to me. In Escape from Tarkov, if I ever happened to come across a player who was engaging scavs and gave me a clear shot, there'd be no doubt in my mind. Kill the guy and move on. But here, that's not necessarily the case. Sure, as time has gone on, I'd say the overall quote-unquote hostility of the game has increased, but there's still a remarkably large number of players who don't just shoot on sight, and instead will actually help you with Arc that are engaging you. This is solo queue I'm talking about, by the way. Trios is a whole nother story. I can't help but think that the reason for this is the world that Embark has created here. From the moment I boot up the game and hear that absolutely killer soundtrack, I am all in. Navigating this world, watching my character move through it in third person with its breathtaking at time visuals and incredible audio, while simultaneously navigating the threat that is the Arc and other players, it's an incredible experience. Nothing seems out of place, and as I move across the maps for my own selfish ambitions of vacuuming up all the high-value loot I can find, I empathize with the players I encounter. I know that feeling of being helpless while being overwhelmed by Arc, and instead of taking an easy shot to finish that player off, I help them because it just seems like the right thing to do. Even the times where I decided I was 100% going to hunt down and kill some players, I actually felt bad doing so. To me, this is such an anomaly, although I think a large reason for this is local voice chat, which is also a bit of an anomaly in its own right, since people actually use it in the game, like a lot to my surprise, and it helps you to connect with players even more. Of course, not everything is sunshine and rainbows. Betrayals happen, there's extract camping, there's plenty of kill on sight players. It is a PvP game after all, but don't let that deter you. It's a vital part of this experience. Things would get boring pretty quickly if no one ever shot at you. And even as the game gets further and further from release and things inevitably get more hostile, all that does is make those friendly encounters that much more powerful. If you're one of those rare folks out there that's somehow still on the fence about picking up Arc Raiders, I highly recommend it unless you're adamantly against PvP of any sort. The gameplay loop is super fun. Even if you die, you can get back into matches incredibly quickly, and the world, despite its beauty, is optimized and runs incredibly well. Plus, you just may make some friends topside. The best part is, this is only the beginning, and I, along with many others out there, anxiously await what's to come. Let me know your thoughts on the game down below, and as always, thanks for watching. Until next time.